You're probably going to see this Mustang in this video. No big surprise. We're putting a Hellcat motor in it with twin turbos. You'll see that later.
Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
We're back with the homemade F1 cart. The engine is mounted in there. I'm super stoked. This thing is so long. I ended up buying a scale, so at some point we're going to scale how much it currently weighs. And I bought a solid piece of brass here. I'm going to quickly see if we can make some bushings for our tube notcher so it notches straight again. This side is so worn out that it's actually cracked. Making some progress on it. Unfortunately, I made it a little bit too big, but at least I got the right idea. I'll be here for another couple hours. All right, I ended up making one bushing for this side. I put the old bushing back on this side. I ended up having to make 4 bushings and then only one of them fit. That's how bad I am with the lathe. We actually had one decent day. We ended up taking this cart out really quick just for a laugh and a half. I put a little bit narrower, a little bit softer compound tire on the front just to try it out. Like I said, Dan's gonna test drive it for us because he's a diabetic and he's the most disposable. I realized that I took 2 lug nuts off each side to put them on the lawnmower, so we'll run on 2 lug nuts in the back. You look good in there though. It's actually turning. The brakes don't work very good. They work better than expected, It only did 53 kilometers an hour.
I literally just told the camera that we needed to start grabbing the governor. Just told the camera this moments ago. I'm like, I think we need to start grabbing the governor.
And now we're back here, and I don't really know where to start. Something like that. You need to clear the engine here, so there's a kick right here and one right there, and then it kind of gets parallel back with the rear end. So set up like this, we have enough width to put a diff in here. This is where our arms can mount going outwards. They might be slightly smaller than the front arm width, which I don't know if it's good or bad. And we have enough room to get the engine out of this part right here if need be. Before I get too deep into that, I really want to get a diff and some knuckles just to see where everything's going to sit, but it's starting to look pretty crazy. You got to imagine that there's going to be side pods here as well too. So a radiator and then a cover over it, like funnel and all that good aero stuff. Now this is our last piece of pipe from our first 4 lengths. Each length is about 22 feet long, so we've used a lot of pipe so far. Right to that point, I think, right here. Now since we know both of our cuts have to add up to 90 degrees because that upright is at a 90-degree angle, the first cut is actually going to be at 32, which means our second one's gonna be at 58. This whole saw has seen better days now. Now that we have those welded in, I'm actually so curious on what it weighs. The only problem is the engine crane is holding up a Hellcat engine in the engine bay of this thing right now, and I can't really take it because it's not mounted up. I still can't believe I built this thing. Like I said, I didn't use CAD, I didn't use anything like that. I'm just kind of winging it as I go, and if it does a thing, it does a thing, and if it doesn't, then we're making a thing at least. Okay, we actually managed to free up the engine lift here. Curiosity just got the best of me, and you know what they said? Curiosity killed the cat. I hope this just doesn't kill my dreams. I don't even know what number to aim for because I don't know what a good weight number is, but our scale goes up to 660 pounds, so anything less than that, I think we're good. 300 kgs, which in Canada is the unit of measurement that we are supposed to use, but we end up using pounds anyways here because you guys are bad influence on us. Oh boy. That is off. Not as bad as I thought it would be. 306 pounds. That's including the engine. 306 pounds, that's actually a lot less than I thought it was gonna be. Mind you, we have to add basically everything, but for a shell, that is not horrible at all, including the Honda Power Unit. One big thing I wanted to address, I built this front end the way I did, just because that was the easiest. One thing I'd like to change right now while I have the time is I'd like to put a kink in this bar right here, probably like 10 degrees or something, just to give it a little bit more rounded shape in the front. So we'll grind off all our tacks on this bar right here. We will put our hole saw on this bar right here. We'll cut this at a 10-degree angle, and then we'll bend another piece of pipe with a 10-degree kink in it to cross that piece. I definitely think the front looks better with this tipped angle right here. Now it's gonna have like a much smoother body line. Even though the skeleton of the car isn't gonna represent what the outside bubble kind of looks like, the fiberglass stuff that goes on top of it. And this isn't going to be the last bar that we probably redo and replace. Now, one issue we are facing currently is shipping delays. Obviously it's Christmas time, but I also live in Canada, so I ordered a set of front and rear spindles from like a 90 to 97 Miata, something like that. Apparently they're not supposed to be here till December 22nd, and that kind of limits me on starting to design my A-arm setup and try and get basically my wheelbase sideways now. I don't really want to brace and structure everything inside of this if I don't know like where shocks are going to be positioned on the inside, because I might need space for stuff like that. All right, one thing I can do while I'm waiting for parts is try and build some sort of seat mold that I can fiberglass. The only thing that I can come to in my mind is like somehow like duct taping this piece in or making like a cardboard template, putting down some expanding foam to make the structure of it if I have to sand it down or whatever to get my template, and then fiberglass mold that, and it'll give me like a nice bucket that I need to sit in. I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. I built like a duct tape coffin in here. But if we do accomplish something here, new skill unlocked. I'm gonna put some expanding foam in here and then let it sit and carve it out, I guess. No, I had it all built out higher so it would like round into this, but it just melted all the way down. Honestly, I'm just gonna sit in it while it's rock hard to see if that's a comfortable shape or not. Honestly, that ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. I feel way more squished than I used to. The bad part is the steering wheel sits so low now. Nobody's gonna fit in this but me. I even need to lose some weight to fit in here. But it's comfortable, which is great. The flappy wheel grinder to foam insulation. It works. I'm gonna need a better solution. All right, I spent the last couple days actually mounting the Hellcat into the Fox body. You'll see that in another video. This seat, I don't think this is the move. And then I realized one more thing as well. If I move my seat slightly back, move this bar slightly back to here, that actually gives me more width. If I move my hips to like somewhere in this area than here, because this whole part narrows in. So I don't think this is the move for the seat. I'm gonna rip this stuff out. And I know that the engine's already mounted in here, but I'm actually really considering turning it sideways now, just so I can put a drive shaft on it and put a rear end mounted in here. Because all the chain driven differentials that I've seen so far, you have to run grease in them just because you can't really get them to seal right, like the homemade style ones. And then you have to worry about adjusting the chain all the time and replacing the chain. So I'm really considering just putting a Miata diff back here, turning the engine sideways, and then possibly getting a drive shaft made for it. And sometimes I love letting the video sit for like a week to allow some comments to come in and people who know what they're doing to comment on videos, because you guys have given me some really insightful tips so far and I really appreciate it. And to be completely honest, I'm gonna need all the help I can get on this project. It's very unfortunate, but let's rip this part out. And the unfortunate part being that this was like $45 in expanding foam. Learn a new skill, I guess. I mean, we kind of made a seat. So I moved this bar, It was right here. I moved it to here. That's just gonna give us probably like an extra inch sitting back further this way, which ultimately means the chassis is wider back there, which gives us a little bit more arm room. The good old measure once, cut once. Clearly not a good strategy. Close though. No! Should have a little bit off each side. Now, too bad it's aluminum. I can't actually weld it to what I want it to be on, but good start. Doesn't like drilling through 120 wall steel, I guess. Dang, 4 self-tapping screws? I wouldn't even be scared to sit in that thing right now. All right, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it on the floor for now, just because it's really inconvenient to get in and out when it's on the table, and the table's really like flexy, so I might get some sawhorses or whatever to put this thing on afterwards. But we'll get this up off the table, down to the floor, and then drop it low, girl. It'd also be nice to have that welding table back, especially when I'm tapping up twin turbo kits for a Hellcat motor. I really just want my table back. Oh my god, this thing is cool when it's on the ground. It is tough. Look how short this thing is. Building it on the table doesn't put it in perspective because the table is like 3 feet off the clearing floor, but look at this. It's up to my hip. It's lower than my hip. I mean, it's gonna get up higher because the wheels and stuff, but not that much higher. Let's just say we give it 3-inch ground clearance. It's still only gonna be up to my hip tall. Crazy. Wild. Wow, I like this. Needs a little bit of an ass pocket in the bottom to move me up this way more. But other than that, I can still possibly steer. Clearly, I still need to figure out a seat solution, but for now, this is what it is. I'm in the middle of sourcing a Miata rear diff, the axles, all the knuckles are coming already. I'll be using Miata knuckles and brakes, so I know I'll have like full functioning brake system. I still have to get a pedal box, but the shell of it, basically there, man. I apologize for the delay in part 3. I just don't want to make a suck video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. See you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe.